Young Elizabeth watches from the shadows, witnessing the brutal punishment of servants. The opulent castle interior cannot mask the chilling atmosphere of violence. Sunlight pierces through stained glass windows, casting a divine glow upon Elizabeth, radiant in her wedding gown, as she stands before the altar. She marries Ferenc Nadezhdy amidst the chapel's opulent display, a union witnessed by nobles and clergy. Despite the grandeur, a subtle unease lingers, foreshadowing the darkness that awaits their union. Ferenc, the Black Knight, clad in dark armor, advances with his troops. Swords clash against shields. Ferenc cuts down enemies with ruthless efficiency. Carnage unfolds. Years later, Elizabeth, now a widow, gazes into the mirror, a growing obsession reflected in her eyes. Elizabeth sits at the head of a long wooden table, a calculating smile playing on her lips. Before her, young peasant girls stand, their faces etched with hope and apprehension. Elizabeth assesses each girl, her gaze lingering, a silent judgment passing. A young girl is led into Elizabeth's chambers, where a palpable sense of dread fills the air. The room is thick with foreboding, signaling the start of the Countess's cruelty. The dungeon air is heavy with the stench of mildew and despair. A single shaft of light reveals the lifeless form of a girl sprawled on the cold stone floor. Her eyes stare blankly at the unseen ceiling. The scene is a testament to Elizabeth's depravity. Whispers echo through the castle's shadowed corridors, where moonlight casts dancing shadows on the stone walls. A palpable sense of fear and secrecy hangs heavy in the air. Bathed in blood, Elizabeth's face reflects a horrifying mix of obsession and terror. Elizabeth smears blood across her face, her reflection staring back. A flicker of satisfaction dances in Elizabeth's eyes. A palpable tension hangs heavy, casting a shadow over the village. Whispers weave through the crowd, each word laced with fear and suspicion. They speak of young girls vanished without a trace, their eyes darting with unease. The Countess, a figure of mystery, looms large in their fearful tales. Fear grips the faces of the peasants as they cautiously approach the towering castle. They carry baskets and sacks, their steps faltering under the shadow of the castle walls. Inside the castle kitchen, fear permeates the air as servants move with palpable anxiety. The castle dungeon reveals a chilling tableau of tortured bodies, their forms frozen in silent screams. Each contorted figure tells a story of unimaginable suffering, echoing through the stone walls. Elizabeth stands tall, a commanding figure amidst the flickering candlelight. A servant girl cowers before Elizabeth, fear etched on her face. A small pool of blood glistens ominously on the ornate rug, a stark testament to the night's grim events. Elizabeth erupts in a violent outburst, blood splattering. Elizabeth stares at her blood-stained hands, a chilling realization creeping into her eyes. In the castle, young girls arrive, their innocence juxtaposed against the castle's dark secrets. Deep within the castle dungeon, shadows twist and writhe, painting a macabre tableau of the Countess's cruelty. Each act of torment escalates, revealing the Countess's insatiable thirst for suffering. The dungeon echoes with the silent screams of the tormented, their pain fueling the Countess's dark reign. Starvation permeates the castle. Shadows dance in the torchlight, and suffering etches the faces of its inhabitants. Gaunt faces reflect the harsh reality of starvation, each etched with tales of suffering and endurance. Thin blankets offer little solace against the cold that seeps through the ancient stones, a constant reminder of their plight. In the castle, Elizabeth issues a sharp command. The guards move swiftly to obey Elizabeth's order. The girls are escorted towards Elizabeth's chambers, their faces etched with apprehension. Footsteps echo through the castle as a girl desperately tries to escape. Her attempt proves futile. She is caught. Torches flicker, casting shadows across the castle walls as a young noblewoman is strapped to a rack. The air is thick with the smell of damp and fear. The Countess watches with cold amusement. The torturer tightens the ropes. Whispers of rebellion reach the king's court. In the ornate king's court, officials murmur, their concern palpable. The rising tide of complaints against Elizabeth hangs heavy in the air. The king's court is filled with anticipation as sunlight illuminates dust motes dancing in the air. The king sits upon his throne, surrounded by advisors and courtiers. A hush falls over the room as the decision is made. Royal soldiers advance toward Cachtice Castle. Soldiers storm the castle. Dust motes dance in the shafts of light, piercing the gloom of the castle interior. The air hangs heavy with the stench of decay. Soldiers, clad in battered armor, cautiously advance through a ruined hall. Their faces, grim and etched with weariness, betray a growing horror as they take in the scene. In the castle dungeon, soldiers tread cautiously, their footsteps echoing through the oppressive silence. The dungeon's shadows reveal a grim tableau of scattered bodies, the air heavy with the stench of decay. The vast chamber is filled with the metallic tang of blood and dimly lit by shafts of sunlight. Dozens of barrels line the stone walls, each overflowing with a viscous, dark red liquid. Chained to the castle walls, the girls are a haunting tableau of life and death. Elizabeth is apprehended. Elizabeth is dragged from her castle. Elizabeth's accomplices endure torture. Elizabeth's accomplices face their fate. Elizabeth is imprisoned within the cold, stone walls of Cachtice Castle. In the confines of the sealed room, Elizabeth accepts sustenance through a narrow opening. Elizabeth stands alone, haunted by the echoes of her past. In the sealed room, ghostly apparitions of Elizabeth's victims emerge from the shadows, their anguish palpable. Their forms flicker in the dim light, shadows dancing across the walls. A palpable sense of dread and despair fills the room. In the solitude of the sealed room, Elizabeth sits alone, the candlelight casting long, dancing shadows that twist and writhe on the cold stone walls. Visions of past deeds swirl around Elizabeth, each a cruel reminder of the darkness she embraced. The weight of her sins presses down, suffocating Elizabeth in this self-imposed prison. In the stifling air of the sealed room, Elizabeth shows the heavy marks of physical and mental deterioration. In the sealed room, Elizabeth dies alone and forgotten. Cachtice Castle looms, a stark monument to Elizabeth's dark deeds. Historians gather in the archive, their fingers tracing the faded ink of Elizabeth's life. Sunlight streams through the arched windows, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. The debate continues on the truth of Elizabeth's crimes. Artifacts from Elizabeth's life are displayed. Visitors wander through the museum exhibits, their faces reflecting curiosity as they uncover Elizabeth's story. The film set buzzes with activity as a crew meticulously recreates moments from Elizabeth's life. Cameras focus, lights blaze, and actors rehearse, each gesture echoing Elizabeth's past. The castle stands against the night, a silhouette of foreboding. Mystery and horror cling to the ancient stones,